Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mr. Howard123, and I'm here with my boy Fiendish.
Yo, how's it going, everyone?
And basically, what's going on here, we're going to let you know we are a part of the San Antonio fighting game community in San Antonio, Texas. And we have a new member, and we'd like to help people, learn fighting games if they've never played them before or they're new to a particular game or then they came from a different game, whatever it is. If you want to get better, if we can help you get better, we're going to help you get better. So, Slimeball, who is new to our community, has agreed to allow us to critique his videos, give him tips on how to get better, and he let me do it in a YouTube video. So that's what we're gonna do here. Um, Fiendish and I have placed pretty high in all of our locals. We've made it out of pools at major tournaments. We have master rank characters online, so it's safe to say we know a little bit about fighting games, right?
Absolutely. I think the fastest way to improve at fighting games is honestly just reviewing your tapes.
Hmm.
And once you get more familiar with what you're actually looking at on screen, it's easier to understand what you're doing right and also what you're doing wrong. It can be very intimidating when you're getting into a new fighting game. I'll look at air dashers like Guilty Gear, and I these anime fighting games, I have no idea what I'm looking at. But if someone were to like be able to like break it down to me, bit by bit, things will start to like click. And so like that's what I'm hoping we accomplish here today.
Yep, yep. So Slimeball, right now he's playing Luke in this match. We're about to start on the screen here. He's going against a Chun Li. So we're just gonna give him tips, and hopefully some of you out there learn about you know basics of fighting games, things like that. You're not gonna win Evo from watching this video. This is for you to learn the basics of fighting games. If you've never played a fighting game before, or if you're new to trying to be competitive in them. All right, you ready to go?
All right, let's get to it.
All right. Well, that wasn't from the beginning. Let's go back. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. So Slimeball Nasty playing Luke on modern. You know what? Getting into Street Fighter, that is, people can say one thing or another about modern controls.
Hmm.
I think it's a good start.
Yeah,
And even there's an argument to be made that it's viable, even at Master Rank levels.
yeah, yeah. It definitely is viable. I don't think he should be playing modern, and I'll explain why in a minute. But very interesting parts. Let's pause it right
Ooh,
there.
really good whiff punish right there.
Yeah, that was really good. Oh, no punish there though. Okay, let's pause it. What have you seen
Okay.
so far?
I'm actually seeing really good fireballs from Slimeball Nasty.
Hmm.
At the like at lower ranks, you're gonna see a little bit of like more of like chaotic and unhinged play style. You're seeing like a lot of like drive rush cancels, a lot of which drive rush cancel is a mechanic in Street Fighter 6 where you basically glow green and you go fast.
Hmm.
And so right now I'm pretty impressed with everything I've seen so far. Where are you looking at?
Well, the Chun Li was being a little obnoxious there, sliding across the floor, across the screen there, knowing that if he threw a fireball, she was gonna slide right under it. But you just gotta like look at those things and know, okay, they're sliding for a reason. I can't throw a fireball right here.
Yes, exactly.
But I mean, that's gonna come over time. Playing against the characters and everything like that. Did have a really good punish, a whiff. I think it was a whiff punish. Was it a whiff punish when he went in a
It looked like a
drive
whiff
rush?
punish.
Okay,
Yeah.
went in a drive rush. Did pretty much a near full combo. But when she whiffed the DP, you didn't do anything. You gotta be looking for stuff like that. When they do a DP, they're very negative. So you need to do some kind of punish.
Yeah, even if you don't block it, if you see them pop up in the air, you see a Ryu do an uppercut in the air, you have all the time in the world.
Hmm.
So, and it's easy to hesitate in fighting games, but if you see something like that, it's that's free real estate.
Okay, so let me back it up just a little bit. We'll start it again.
So right there, that was a great whip punish. That was a great
Yes.
example of like somebody just whipped a move in front of you. But right here, that's
Hmm.
that's even easier to whip punish.
Yes. Yep.
So
Exactly.
if you're able to do the one, you should be able to do the other.
Hmm. That was a nice crouch. See, you could have killed him right there. Like,
Exactly. So if you block a reversal, just like that's something to just instill in your head. If you block a reversal in this game, they are dead. You get your highest damage combo.
right. Nice crouching medium kick. Oh, completed the combo that time. That's pretty good.
Very, very good. And definitely like doing a great job at controlling space.
Oof.
And I think that's a good example of like what comes with time is learning where you can like throw your fireballs. One good read is if your opponent predicts that you're gonna throw a fireball, they can jump at you, they can drive impact you, and now you're in the corner and it's a bad time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Great anti-air though, like
Yeah.
that's if your opponent's jumping at you, do not let them get away with it. Wow, this jumping
Oof.
is very ambitious.
Oh, nice punish.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. And see, I know Slimeball's got it, right? Because
Yeah.
he's able to punish the harder things.
Right. He's
It's just-
punishing all the harder things, but the easiest things in the world to punish he's not doing. All right.
just great patience as well.
Mhm.
Like I like to focus on like what people are doing great instead of the negatives.
Yeah.
Like reviewing these kind of things.
Okay. That was a nice cross up out of the corner there.
Yeah, he got too close. You knew that you had the range to jump out pretty safely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with this match.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty good. Good thing this Chun-Li was doing though. Right here, got him to the corner, kept pressure and kept him in the corner. Like that's like a win condition in a lot of matches. Getting someone in the corner and keeping them in the corner, keeping pressure on them, not allowing them to do anything to get out. This is going to play a factor a little bit later because I did see a little bit of the other matches. But yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Perfect.
All right, let's go to the next one. That was a good punish though into level 3.
I really like this, just like not. I see a lot of players, even like at higher ranks, still burning themselves out for no reason.
Yeah.
So it's just like great patience, knowing that you don't have to take any like fundamental risks, and then just jump out.
Yep. So I haven't watched every single second of every match, but I had to skim through them to see which ones are worth critiquing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this Chun-Li's playing a lot more aggressive now.
Yeah, getting away with quite a bit.
Ooh.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Nice punish. Well, that was a counter hit.
Great punish.
I saw the attempt on the anti-air there. Oh, a little bit too far. Probably thought she was gonna Hasanchu again, but didn't happen.
And I think that's like the hardest thing to like learn in fighting games is learning how to. It's easy to practice offense in practice mode, and there was another DP right there that could have just easily. You see them flip up in the air.
Yep.
Just drive rush in. Hit them with your heaviest button. It's gonna work. There you go. Nice. I like the jab checks. Even if you don't know
Ooh.
what the math is necessarily, like, don't let them get away with anything.
Right.
Like, at least test it out. See, at least he's knowing. And then, like, from there, right? Like, what I like to do, if you're trying to eyeball the numbers, if you know a jab's working there, maybe try like a little bit slower of a button next time. See if you can get more of a punish.
Yeah. Oh
Ooh,
no!
that was very, very unfortunate. Ooh. And so I think what I saw from like this game was definitely a matter of it's harder to practice defense than it is offense.
Right.
And I think the best way to kind of assess that is just like start to learn your ranges and figure out one at a time. Like how's your opponent getting in and how are they doing damage? So if they're glowing green and going across the screen, go into like practice mode and maybe set your your opponent to do the same thing,
Right.
and see if you can stick any buttons out that will stop them from doing that.
Yeah, and even like earlier in the match, you see when he's doing the Chun-Li player was doing things to get Slimeball under pressure, and Slimeball not knowing can he punish it, if they could stick a button in between somewhere. Like you can actually get the dummy to do exactly what this person is doing and then practice what you need to do against it. You could find something that way.
It does sound like eating your vegetables, but you're going to gain so much confidence for doing something like that.
Yeah.
You're not going to have your opponents jumping at you in the same way anymore. You're going to swat them out of the air. You're going to see somebody glow green, and you're going to kind of like understand, okay, well, maybe I can't check it every time, but if
Hmm.
they're this amount of distance away, you'll kind of start gaining a little bit more confidence, and then becomes more of like a just an automatic response.
Right, right. Also, uh, if you get in the habit of walking back, you have to have a plan. Because if you're just walking back without a plan, they're gonna get you in the corner, keep you in the corner, and you're gonna die.
And
Um,
actually, I think that's what I saw at the very beginning of this round too. Is Slimeball was not walking back first, which
hmm
isn't necessarily a bad thing,
No,
but it's better to stand your ground.
it is better to stand your ground, and if you're walking back, you need to have a plan, because you need an escape route. But
Exactly, because the best people always say like, what the best offense is a good defense.
hmm
I also think the best defense is a great offense.
right, exactly.
You want to kind of threaten them and make them walk back. If you're walking back, your options are way more vast than their opponents.
hmm Okay, so let's go to the next
Okay,
match. The next one, he's fighting against a Cammy.
Cammy.
Oh wait, wrong player. All right, here we go.
Okay, Cammy.
All right, nice confirm.
Nice little jabs, like when they're a little bit spaced out, just to test, Oh,
Oh,
okay.
rare clash of
Wow.
the DI.
Hey, at least
Nice
you're,
whiff punish.
very, very good. You know what? You're still
Woo!
going for the combo. It didn't finish all the way, but that doesn't matter. The fact that you're confirming those kind of things, everything else will come like with time. Ooh,
All
and
right.
great DPs on the on these jump ins. Great uppercuts. Yeah, and so nice.
All right, he's DP. He's anti-airing a lot in this match.
That's very, very good. Yeah, see, like if your back is to the corner, now your whole game plan is just fighting yourself out of the corner, right?
hmm
You want that to be Cammy instead.
Right, right. All right.
It's something I'm noticing here as well. Really good. Really, like, he kind of held his ground. He was in the corner for a very, very long time.
hmm
um, if your defensive option is a bunch of jabs, I would say like a good thing to like do after that is like do your homework and figure out like what you can get off of those jabs.
hmm
But that's just again, that's kind of just combing over things in practice mode and figuring out like how can you squeeze out the most amount of advantage. But overall, like you held your ground in the corner,
Yep.
and that's one of the hardest things to do in fighting games.
Yeah. Very, very
That Cammy
hard.
was jumping over and over, and you were making them feel bad for doing it.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
it's in this game when you're in the corner, it's kind of this weird thing of where sometimes you try to anti-air and it goes the wrong way, or it completely whiffs. But yeah, he did stand his ground. He saw that yeah the DPS aren't always gonna work, but I can block and then I can take my turn back eventually. But all right, let's go to the next round.
yeah, let's go to the next round. Let's see if we can keep this up. But I did like what I saw there.
hmm
Ooh, great
Nice.
whiff punish. And see, that's kind of like what you were saying, Roger. Is Mr. Howard walking back with a purpose.
Yeah.
You know. Ooh,
Oh,
see, and that's
yeah.
another DP in your face, right?
Right.
And so that's another, where they just fly up in the air,
hmm
and once you gain the confidence and you see that, just know that he would be at like maybe one more hit left.
Right, right. You could have did a half screen
could've-
level 3 and
Yeah, you might have killed him right there for
Yeah.
doing that.
oh
Okay. Level 2 to level 1. Alright, now you're in, a spot that.
so you need to be aware that this person is in burnout. A lot of the stuff she does, you could just DI it and she can't do anything about that.
Exactly. She doesn't really get to. You get to be permanently on offense if your opponent's got burned out. Ooh,
Oh,
okay,
it didn't
nice.
kill. I thought that
Wow,
throw was
okay.
gonna kill.
Yeah, that's a very good example. So if somebody burns themselves out
Mhm.
in Street Fighter 6, they they cannot get you off of them. They will have to burn a bar of super, and even then it's kind of temperamental per character.
Right.
But that basically means you could just walk up to them and mash jab over and over, and
Mhm.
they'll just keep getting hit by it if they press any buttons.
Right.
So, and as you start to get more and more comfortable, you'll start learning sequences where you'll make somebody hurt real bad for pressing a button, and then you
Mhm.
get their back to the corner, and you can press a heavy button into drive impact,
Mhm.
and unless they have super, that's free. They cannot escape that.
Right. And then if you when you look at this situation here, um, the Cammy player used all the meter right here.
They used
Uh,
all
it-
their drive and all of their super. So
yeah.
now
So now
this is a nightmare for them.
there's no way to get no reversal there. Can't level one to get out of a DI. You can just when she comes in right there, you can just DI. She can't do anything about it.
Exactly. And so if you were able to, get any buttons in, if you were to like drive rush at her while she's burned out and she has no resources, you can
Mhm.
just keep doing that crouch medium punch, and just keep pressing buttons in their face. You could just, I think Luke's stand jab, he lunges forward. That kind of
Mhm.
like would reset everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
It
like
would bring you closer to them. Yeah,
yeah, and you just and so basically what we're saying in this situation, you have to be aware of what your opponent can and can't do. Your opponent in this situation had no drive meter and had no super meter, critical art meter, so they can do anything. You just got to pay attention to that kind of stuff.
exactly. Their options became very limited. So
Hmm.
now their only option really is to check you with basic fundamentals. They have to just do a regular anti-air if you jump,
Hmm.
or they have to do like a crouch medium kick into a mediocre combo if they catch you.
Hmm. No drive
If they catch
rushing.
you, yeah, exactly. They can't do anything like fancy.
Yeah.
And so, but other than that, I really like the defense from you, Slimeball.
Hmm. Very good. And like all of those whiff punishes were uh, there's a lot of players that play with us at our gatherings and do not whiff punish like that. So that's pretty good.
Even at like the higher levels,
Yeah.
people do not whiff punish Cammy's dive kick. All right, here we go. Ooh, and that spinning knuckle is so frustrating.
Hmm.
That's just comes with time. Again, every time you throw a fireball out, it's a risk
Hmm.
in pretty much any Street Fighter.
See, she's keeping you in the corner, staying at that correct distance to where you're gonna want to jump and anti-air you. That's the kind of stuff you need to learn.
That was I don't know if you want to rewind. That was a really really good example. Whatever the Cammy did there, that's exactly what we were talking about. You're limiting. You can limit your opponent's resources, and you can also limit your opponent's options. But when your back is to the corner, it might seem safe. When you're like starting out in like Street Fighter, like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm playing defensively. They can't jump over me now because the wall's behind me. But
Right.
this is a nightmare. Look, you were trying to jump out. Okay, you're in the corner. Cammy is just applying as much pressure. You try and jump out, anti-air, and then just pressing her best buttons. You can't. You have to take some sort of risk to get out against a good player
Hmm.
when they have you in the corner.
Yeah, and
And that risk could be life or death.
right, right. And the only reason you got out of the corner at that point was because this Camry player made the wrong decision at that. But what if the Camry player made the right decision the entire time? You would have been dead.
If
So.
if your back is to the corner or your opponent's back is to the corner, you can crouch right below the timer, and that's usually like kind of like rule of thumb, like the ideal space where like your opponent
Hmm.
can't walk forward because you'll check them with a button. Jump forward, you'll be able to anti-air them.
Hmm.
So it's one of those things where it actually becomes a very unwinnable situation against like a patient player once they have you in the corner.
So that right here, this is the perfect. She kind of slid back because of the animation that she did, but
Exactly. But see,
right
kind
under
of
the
still
timer.
right under the timer,
Yep.
right under the timer.
Right under the timer. That's the perfect distance for you to jump. And when people have you in the corner, they know you're gonna try to jump out. So he was ready for the anti-air there.
Boom.
Yeah. So That's why we say when you walk, if you're gonna walk back like that, you need to have a plan. And that, if you did have a plan, it didn't work out.
Exactly, because even when you jumped out, if this Cammy was really on point, they
Mm,
would have done a she would have done her uppercut in the other direction. The round would have just been over right there.
mm-hmm. All right.
All right, you're burnt out, but you have their back into the corner, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But see, there's
See?
that drive impact.
Yep.
When you're burnt out, you're basically at their mercy.
Right, right. And that's what we were talking about before. When she was burnt out, you could have drive impacted her and got the same result. They knew that you were burnt out and you could not do anything about that drive impact unless you used the bar, but you know, they probably thought you weren't going to. So, yeah. All right, let's keep going. Oh, no
And
whiff
yeah,
punish
something I
there.
like noticed. Ooh,
Oh, there we go.
there we go. There we go. And again, like I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with walking back at round start.
Hmm.
Just understand though that that's one of many options.
Yeah.
And so, if your go-to option every single time is to walk back, eventually somebody's going to catch on, or there's just going to be some sort of player who has like a natural playstyle that's going to conflict with yours. Ooh, oh, unfortunate. But so far,
Okay. Luckily, the Cammy did not have a level 3 combo, but he still took it. You got to be aware of your meter. You don't want to burn out when you're so close to death like that, because that limits your options at that
in
point.
that final round, when your opponent may have level 3,
Hmm.
that will turn any small interaction into half of your health.
Yep.
And so it's almost like when you're playing round 3 in this game, or anytime your opponent has level 3 on deck of super, that bottom corner.
Hmm.
That's You are basically playing with Half Life now in Street Fighter 6.
Yep.
Any Even like a basic hit, somebody can hit you with a couple lights, and then they can do a thing called a drive rush cancel, where it's like they glow green again, they go fast, and they can kind of press another light into a medium, and then drive rush again and press a medium into a
Hmm.
heavy special into a level 3. And even like so off even off of lights, that's like potentially half of your life right there.
Right.
And
Yep.
so being in burnout in that circumstance, when your opponent has that much amount of like damage, almost like a cannon in their back pocket,
Hmm.
just be very careful.
Yep. Yep. Be very, very careful, because if you fight somebody who has their combos down, they're gonna, like you said, take half of your life, and then you're at a disadvantage. You might come back from it, you might not, and then that level 3 that they do is going to take away a lot of your OD meter. So you may not have a reversal after that, or they could burn you out. So,
In the ideal world, you're going into burnout because you're going to kill them.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yep,
But any other circumstance, you're putting yourself at your opponent's mercy if they get up.
right, right. Even if you land a big damage combo, but and you're in burnout after that, and they still have a good amount of health left, they can come back very easily. But
And it's the most like feels bad situation in this game when you have like full life, you put yourself in burnout, and your opponent gets up, and they just put you in a sequence where you're basically put in jail,
yeah,
you know, and then you just watch as like everything falls apart.
right, right, right. Okay,
So
so
don't let that happen to you.
right. Yep. Let's go to the last one. Okay. So this one, he was playing Ryu. Okay. Open the wrong thing again. He played Ryu. This was actually a while ago, maybe a few weeks earlier. So he's better than this right now that he's going to show in this match. He's already leveled up since then. But I wanted to show this because he's actually playing Classic in this match, and there's some things that happen in this match that I think beginners can learn from. So
Interesting. Okay.
yeah. All right. So and this is also part of the reason why I said he shouldn't play modern. Now, I'm not saying people should not play modern. If modern is better for you, then you should do it. If this is your first fighting game and it's a lot easier for you to use, then yes, you should use modern. But he specifically told me the reason he's using modern is because um, he can't do DPS on command. There's a lot of moves he can't do on command. He feels like he can't do combos uh, the way he needs to do them. But you're gonna see in this match that he does some really good combos, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
I do understand that rhetoric, and that's why I would say the difference between like classic and modern. There are high level players who play in modern controls,
Mm-hmm.
and I think ultimately it's just what things do you value, right? If you value consistency in that you just want to focus what's on screen and not have to worry about if you're going to drop anything on your end from your own hands,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not acclimated to playing fighting games and doing like a DP motion. Let's say you're coming from like I don't know, even like Street Fighter or like even like Tekken, right? Or even like Super Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm.
Every fighting game feels differently.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that in the long run it would be good to practice, do your reps in like practice mode and just practice that DP motion.
Yeah.
But the consistency is very important. I think if you see somebody jump and you know that it's just gonna be pressing forward in a button,
Mm-hmm.
and that's enough for you just to focus on the game itself.
Yeah.
By all means, I don't think there's any shame in it. I don't
No.
like this. I don't like the rhetoric of like, oh, you're playing on baby mode, right?
Right.
You're
That's
still playing the same game, and if you
yeah.
beat somebody who's playing classic controls with modern controls,
Right.
I don't know
Right.
what to tell them.
Yeah, and specifically in this situation, the reason I'm telling him he doesn't need to play modern, it's because he thinks he can't play classic when he can. He just doesn't have the confidence right now. I
Exactly. So it's not even just like necessarily a preference thing. It's a
exactly.
confidence issue right now. That
Yeah.
confidence will come over time.
Right.
Just watching those matches with the Luke,
Mm-hmm.
he understands where he should be on the screen.
Right.
Like
Right.
he was hitting some whiff punishes against that Chun Li and the Cammy
Mm-hmm.
in circumstances where I was like, wow, that was very clean.
Right. 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 Okay, so let's
So,
watch this.
okay.
You guys are gonna see what I mean when he does a few combos. And but there's gonna be a lot of things we talked about in the other matches that are going on here, and they're a lot easier to see. So let's go ahead and start it.
All right. So we start the round. Already, I like the confidence of walking forward. And you know what though? I can't fault him for doing this jump forward and like getting anti-aired and doing it again.
Yeah.
In Street Fighter 5, the reward you got from jumping at somebody was so high that you take a few anti-airs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And also, like, if they're not really, if it's risk, so fighting games are kind of like risk reward, right? Like, if your
Mm-hmm.
opponent's not like hurting you that badly for you jumping at them,
Yeah.
yeah, keep jumping at them.
Right. Right. It's just
Just always like trying like if you're gonna do something in a fighting game, walking back, jumping forward, just have some sort of intention behind it.
mm-hmm. And this is trading in his
Yeah,
favor. But
those were good trades. And I like the driver's cancel right there to just like apply a little bit more pressure.
mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see what happens here.
He's in burnout. Doesn't have
Ooh,
bar.
see,
Yep.
I can
See,
see
there we
now.
go.
Okay, there we go.
Look. Look at that.
That's what I'm talking about, right? They were in burnout, so you were able to capitalize on it.
Right. He was able to capitalize, and he did the best combo he could do with the meter he had.
Ooh, a nice jump.
See, he won. He won the
So you were
round.
able to keep him. Yeah, you were able to keep him in there. It wasn't looking very likely, but then that Ed burnt himself out,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was like a heroic, like shonen anime protagonist comeback, right?
Yeah.
That's why you do not want to be burned out in this.
Yeah.
I did see I did see a moment, and I see what Slimeball was saying. Again, like it will come with time. There was a moment where the Ed jumped at him, and
Mm-hmm.
he was walking back to space himself.
Mm-hmm.
In the same circumstance with modern controls, he would have walked back. He would have done walk back into DP.
Right. Right.
That is
Yep.
completely possible doing the same thing on classic controls with Ryu,
Mm-hmm.
but I do understand that that comes with time.
Now, there is something that a lot of people need to understand about Street Fighter is anti-airs aren't only DPs, right? If you are walking back with specifically Ryu, you're walking backwards, they jump, and you do not have enough time to do a DP, you could just do crouch and heavy punch. That will
You could
anti-air
just
them.
do exactly. You could just do a crouch and a heavy punch, and that's basically your modern equivalent.
Right.
That's your modern equivalent. It's gonna do sizable damage,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna probably, in most cases, if a character has like just a normal move, not like a special move like an uppercut or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will make them flip in front of you, and you still get pressure.
Right. Yep.
So, and it does a decent amount of damage,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's always something you can do. You don't have to always feel like you have to go for the risky option that you feel like you might mess up.
Right. Right.
And so it's
Me
not
and
exclusive to just modern. You can do that with any character in this game.
Yeah, yeah, and like me and you, we do play classic, and yeah, sometimes we're not ready to do the optimal anti-air. We just do the anti-air that's best, that the fastest one you could do in the moment. So yeah, you don't have to DP every time. Okay, let's keep going.
All right. Okay.
All right, so we doing the zoning thing here with real quick. Let me pause it if I could find my cursor.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Okay. There you go. There you go.
Okay. All right. When in the situation in the beginning of this round here, um, Luke was zoning. And yeah, obviously
Yeah.
is not
Ed was doing some zoning. Yeah.
right. That parry right there was good. It was good to parry. You don't have to go in like if they're constantly throwing fireballs, just parry them.
I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. You do not have to go in Street Fighter 6. Okay. You do
Right.
not have to go in. Parry is basically making you invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Fireballs aren't as scary as they've been in other fighting, like other Street Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
You can just parry, neutral. You can even just jump, straight up, just a neutral jump,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't throw another fireball while their fireball's on the screen.
Right.
And if your character has a fireball, you can just start doing that to them and make that like put put the pressure on them to be the one to jump at you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're basically like playing them like they're a puppet.
Yep.
They're gonna do the exact thing that you want them to do, and then he's gonna jump over a fireball, and you're gonna be ready to press like crouch heavy punch or do a DP.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something I would like to see more though, and again I saw more from like his Luke, so it's not like a good basis,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't see any fireballs from Ryu.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say that he did not throw any fireballs. He did try to parry a few. Nine, and this is not. He's probably already learned this by now. Like I said, this is an older match. Probably when the first day Ed released or something like that. But you can just sit across the screen and they're like, okay, I'm gonna zone them. I'm gonna keep throwing fireballs. You parry. You just sit there and parry two or three of those fireballs. They're gonna think like, oh, this isn't working. I need to get in. They're gonna come
Yeah,
to you. But yeah, and then Ryu, you have an EX fireball. You can throw that out every now and then. It goes through all fireballs, normal fireballs. So yeah, keep that in mind, people. All right, let's go.
all right, so here we go. And also, less is more, right? Like he jumped at you, but you were doing a tatsu.
Mm-hmm.
Um, your spinning kick. Like the less you do, the more you're open to just like hitting your opponent. Okay, good pressure, good pressure. And also, if your game plan is to jump at your opponent, start mixing in some throws.
Yeah, yeah. They're blocking everything. They can't block a throw.
They cannot not block a throw. They have to, they have to break it, and so that's just gonna make everything else work. Okay, see there, that was a good jump into throw.
Right.
All right, you're both burned out, so obviously. Oh,
Yeah. Definitely a bad situation to be burnt out against Ed of all characters. Very hard to deal with in burnout, but yeah, you gotta keep an eye on that meter. Don't put yourself in burnout if you don't have to. And Yeah, that, I mean, that's all I can really say about that right now.
Yeah,
I mean, he was doing a lot
I
of
would say
jumping.
jumping is not necessarily a bad thing. I
No.
think it's just the intent of like, what do you do with the jump? Obviously, the ideal situation is you jump at your opponent, you hit them in the head, and then you get a full combo, right?
Mhm.
But what do you do from a jump after that, right?
Mhm.
If they're blocking it every single time, start throwing them.
Mhm.
Then, if you start throwing them, you can jump at them and press buttons again. If they try and break a throw that's not coming,
Mhm.
they're just gonna get hit.
Yeah. If you
And
jump
so now, yeah, so now like your jumps are actually you're getting more mileage off of them now.
right, right. You also need to think about why are you jumping. You can't just jump just to jump. You have to have a reason to be jumping. And then, if your opponent is perfectly anti-airing you every single time you jump, then maybe you should stop jumping. But that will come with time. The more you play it, you'll start to realize that stuff.
Exactly. I'm not gonna fault you for jumping. I love jumping in fighting games. Usually build my entire game plan around how can I jump more.
Hey, I jump a lot too. I jump a lot too.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's one of many options.
Yeah.
And the way you're going to get more successful jumps is making your opponent pay attention to other things, which
Right.
is, are you throwing fireballs? Are you walking in this range where they're kind of afraid if you're going to like dash at them?
Yep. And that goes back to what I say. If you're jumping, why are you jumping? Are you jumping because you conditioned them to do something at this point, and you're going to be able to jump and at least get in, even if you don't get a hit? Or if you both are just standing in neutral and you jump, yeah, you're testing if they know they're anti-airs, but you got to get information from that and then move forward with that information.
And again, it's kind of a weird like chain of events, right? Like we watched this one and then we watched the Luke ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like we watched like the ending for like rewatch the ending first
Yep. Yep.
because the way he was playing Luke, he has learned a lot.
Yes, he has learned. When you watch this, you're like, wait a minute. He didn't jump hardly ever with Luke unless he was like in the corner or something. He was literally just whiff punishing people. So yeah, let's watch the
No, exactly.
next rounds.
All right. We start off. And see, like a lot of these jumps, like they're not that bad. Like
Oh,
you have
see,
like
that
a
was a
good
good
ooh,
one. Oh, almost a complete combo. That was good though. Good damage.
a very good example of like a good time to jump
Mm-hmm.
is when you think your opponent's gonna throw a fireball.
Right. Oof. Ooh.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Nice
Look, that was a full
combo.
combo with your DP at the end.
Yes.
I thought he said that he doesn't have those.
Right.
That was clean. That was very clean.
And I mean, I feel you got the right idea when you're burnout. Stay away from them.
Um, Found like kind of beginnerish, but I don't usually play characters with a DP. Um, a little like shortcut I know is if you're in the middle of a combo and you want to end with DP, just hold forward and then do a Hadouken,
Mm-hmm.
and the game will recognize it as you hitting that weird zigzag.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good match right there. I liked it.
That was a very good match.
All right.
Nice. And see, you blocked a dragon punch from Ed, his reversal.
Yeah.
And you got the full damage that time.
Right. But now, hold on 1 second. So you got that good punish in there. Right here.
Yep.
He's pretty much kind of in the corner there. You're almost to that point where you could be under the time bar right here. And it's not much he could do in the corner unless he reads something that you do. But in this situation, you let him out of the corner.
Yeah, you had him on the defense, but you decided to back up full screen.
Yeah, and this is
And I do understand like the natural like feeling of that, like, oh well, I have life lead, I don't want to take a risk.
yeah.
But you could just do that from under the timer.
Mm-hmm.
without letting him have any room to breathe. Because now he was able to kind of like reset and go, yeah, I can
Yeah,
like build a game plan.
yeah.
Also, about like what I said with jumping in and how you can like mix in like a throw instead of buttons.
Mm-hmm.
When you were doing those the driver's cancels, where you're like you have them in a block string and you glow green, you could also threaten throw from that,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and it
And,
just makes your opponent worried about one other thing.
yeah, he did try to do that. He did some pressure and then drive rushed and tried to grab, but he did the light a little bit faster than the grab happened.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, that was a big thing here. That letting pretty much letting him out of the corner. You don't want to do that. Uh, where was that at?
It was right about here.
Yeah, right there. You could have
He hits
crouched.
some of the hits him right here.
Yeah, see, you walked out.
Yeah, and he was able to. He didn't have to do anything weird. He just walked out of the corner, free man. He saw his jail open.
Mm-hmm.
He looked left, looked right, no guards patrolling, and he just walked out a free
Yep.
man.
Yeah, so that's something you guys you don't need to do that. And I did see you doing that a lot with Luke. You would do stuff and you knock them down or do whatever you need to do, then you just immediately walk back.
And I just want to like reassure you, there is nothing your opponent can do. They're not going to do some weird, they'd have to do something very gimmicky. Like sometimes like Ryu or Ken, they can like jump forward and then do like an air helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
But those are very niche situations. Just like generically across the board, people do not have a way to get out of the corner safely if you
Mm-hmm.
just if their back is to the wall and you hold down, like you just crouch, hold down back in front of, like right approximately. It doesn't have to be right, like it's not like by millimeters, centimeters,
Mm-hmm.
just right by the timer. They can't jump. You'll be able to. You can even do your easy anti-air, just like crouch heavy punch. They can't walk forward because if they walk forward, you'll do a crouch medium kick or
Yep.
any sort of like long range button.
Right.
And and as they were like trying to like their gears are turning about how do I get out of this corner?
And they're also going to be thinking that a drive impact is going to come. So they're looking
Exactly,
out for that as well.
because now drive impact has a purpose, which
Mm-hmm.
is it will splat them against the wall, and you'll get a big combo. And then guess what? After that big combo, there's back is still to the corner. There's
Right.
nothing they can do,
Yep.
and so you can like learning to control that space is also going to help you understand like what your options are when your back is to the wall.
Mm-hmm. And
And
you
it
could.
kind of just helps like because like the game like a lot of matches and rounds are decided at the wall. That's why
Right.
they call the very beginning at round start the neutral, because nobody has advantage yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's an area where if somebody knocks you down, you can still get up kind of safely. But once your back is to the wall, that is your advantage or your opponent's advantage,
Yeah.
depending on who's at the wall.
Right, right. And then like you can tell if people are waiting for a DI or not. They kind of just block every single thing you do. Uh you if you know they're waiting for a DI, 9 times out of 10 they may not even anti-air you. Not especially not in the gold, platinum, and diamond range. If they're looking for the DI, they're not gonna counter anything but a DI.
Yeah, something I like to do um, when like I'm like reviewing my own matches is I like to ask myself things like, where did I get damage on my opponent, and also where did I take damage,
Mm-hmm.
and why. But also like let's say you have your opponent at the corner and they get out. I guess like just like take notes and go, how did my opponent get out of the corner?
Right.
And you'll start to understand. Oh, I walked a little too close, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or oh, they jumped at me. I did nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And so you can start like looking at like your own matches and understand like you'll get more familiar with certain situations, and the more familiar you are, and the more concrete your answers are ahead of time,
mm-hmm.
the more confident and consistent you'll be when you actually are in a match.
Yep, yep.
Because like there's only so many different types of things that can happen in Street Fighter. They're not
Mm-hmm.
going to sidestep you. They're not going to do a weird wave dash. There's only so many options.
Yeah, yeah. Now to sum everything up, like what are the main things you feel like he needs to pay attention to or work on? We obviously saw, not being able to do. You don't have to do a DP all the time. You need to do normal anti-airs as well. When you don't have time to do the DP, they jumped when you didn't think they were gonna jump. Now you don't have time. Crouching heavy punch. I think Luke's is crouching heavy punch too, right?
Oh yeah, yes it is. It
Yeah.
is, and it is phenomenal.
Mhm.
It's borderline just as good as his DP.
Yep. Yep.
I would say um, one of the biggest things. Well, what I was impressed with so far was your anti-airs with Luke were incredible, and
The
you had
the
really good whiff
the
punishes
whiff
into.
punishes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
whiff punishes were immaculate, and you were using Fireball with Luke very well. I think the things generically that I would like to see is Mr. Howard said, don't walk back without a purpose. There's a
Mhm.
lot of times where you knock your opponent down and you just,
Walk
and
back.
I think again, yeah, you just walk back and like, they're not as scary like as you think they are. Your opponent can only do a couple things when to steal their turn back,
Mhm.
and those couple things, I'm going to assure you, it doesn't matter if you get hit by them. If anything, so it costs 2 bars of drive gauge to do an EX reversal in this game,
Mhm.
to like an invincible reversal. That's they're going to do a little bit of damage to you and you're going to get back up. But
Right.
they lost 2 bars right there.
Yep.
Just off of that alone, even if they succeed.
Yeah.
And if you block it, they die.
Yeah. And if you're walking back because you think they're gonna EXDP or ODDP or whatever, uh, walking back is not the answer to that. You should go in front of their face and act like you're gonna press a button and then block. Right.
Exactly. There's no real good reason in most circumstances to ever give up space.
Mhm.
Because your reward for them getting up into a button of yours is you winning the game. Their reward for doing a risky maneuver like an EX reversal is just them getting you off of them.
Yep. Right.
So the thing is like, if that's the case, they're already getting you off of them for free if
Yeah.
you just walk back.
You're not making them use any resources. You're just letting them up, and then okay, now I have a chance to beat them in neutral again. And that's not what
Exactly.
you want. You want to stay on them. They call it Oki in this game. It's basically knocking them down, and then the advantage you have after knocking them down, you need to take advantage of it. If you think they're going to DP, then block the DP so that you can get the biggest combo you have in your arsenal. You get to do it on them for free. So,
Exactly. So I would say be careful of burning yourself out
mm-hmm.
and do not give up space, especially if you knock your opponent down.
Yep.
I can understand at the start of the round walking back to kind of see what your opponent's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, I would say walk back a little bit
Right.
and then just stand your ground because I can't emphasize enough, especially the higher up you get, the closer your back is to the wall, you're going to start to feel it.
Right. Right.
People may not be taking advantage of it right now, but that's going to be your worst enemy or your best friend.
Mm-hmm. And like in me, walking like he said, walking back's not a bad thing. Me and Josh play completely different Street Fighter. He likes to walk back. I hate to walk back. I will walk like round start. I'm holding forward and going to you. So,
Yeah, no, I love walking back. And that's the thing is like there is no necessarily wrong game plan. You
hmm
just have to like understand why you're doing your game plan.
right.
What's the end goal? Because the end goal is obviously to win, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is walking back enforcing that game plan? Is it bringing you closer to winning?
hmm
In my case, yes, but it's because that's exactly how I want to play. I want to create a circumstance where my opponent's doing exactly what I want them to do,
Right. Right.
where other players might want to walk forward to force the issue.
Right. You walk back all the time, and you just won our last tournament. So like
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it's not a bad thing. You just have to have a strategy behind it.
Yeah, to me, I call it the infinite health glitch. If you're holding down and back, you can't take any damage.
hmm Yep.
And it's crazy that that Capcom hasn't patched that out.
Right. Me on the other hand, I walk forward. You throw a fireball. I'm gonna parry it and keep walking. Like I walk forward like the Terminator.
Exactly.
uh,
So if you try out different characters, different play styles, if you want to play defensively, I think Luke is a great fit for that. I think he kind of can do both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I've seen plenty of like modern Luke players just sandblast, throw his fireball over and over, and then your opponent jumps and they do his uppercut,
Mhm.
and then once you get that uppercut, they switch to offense.
Yeah.
You see, you're playing that game where you're making them play your game plan. They jump at you, you knock them down, and instead of walking back now, you're going to run at them, and you're going to probably do like a crouch medium punch, and you're just going to keep pressing buttons until they find a way to get you off of them.
Right. Right.
And I think that like shifting from one to the other is going to help you tremendously.
Mhm. There's another thing here. You did switch from Ryu to Luke, but everything you're doing with Luke, you can also do with Ryu. Like,
Oh, absolutely. It's not character specific.
right, right, and you're doing both. I think you do well in classic and modern. I think you shouldn't give up on classic just because modern is easier. I think you should learn both and then find out which one is better for your play style and then use that one. We just had a good player come in from, I think he moved, where did he move from? Houston? The skills moved from Houston?
I didn't catch that, but
He just
he
moved
yeah.
here. He moved here Friday, and today is Sunday while we're recording this. He moved here Friday. He played in our tournament. He got third place. He played both modern and classic. He played classic Kimberly, classic Cammy, and he played modern Ed and modern Chun Li.
And see, I think that's a really good example to bring up because that's what I was trying to say is that there's a case to be made that modern has a place.
Mm-hmm.
It's viable.
Yep.
It's competitive in tournaments. You can play if you're looking at playing like a main character, I would say you're going to get the most out of your character by playing classic because you have access to all of their moves.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to like pick up like a secondary because let's say you're playing a character and they have one bad matchup and you want to just pick up one other character, but you don't want to like spend too much brain power on them, you can just play their modern version. A lot of
Right.
people will play like modern Cammy, for example, just because her tools out the gate are just really good in that format.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. Don't listen to anybody out there that are talking about, no one should play modern. It's not. Don't listen to that. If it makes sense for you, then do it. I only tell Slimeball he doesn't have to play modern because from what I see with Ryu, and this is even weeks ago, he's better now. He can play. He has his executions fine.
Hey, we even saw it in this video, right? He
Hmm.
he did a full combo in P ender.
Yeah, he
So
did, and then he did a full combo into DP into level 3, which he did not do with Luke at all, and he was playing modern with Luke.
no, exactly. So it's gonna get easier the more you do it.
Hmm.
It's and that's really as far as it goes. Like it's not there's a lot harder things in different fighting games,
Hmm.
and even those harder things, like just if you just spend a little bit of time in practice mode every now and then, it's gonna get more and more comfortable.
Yeah, repetition, that's the key. And then and even with we seeing you play modern here and play classic, the the controller aspect or the style modern versus classic that played no part in what we see is wrong in this situation and what we see is right in this situation. It's just the decision making and the awareness and what you should be doing and not doing. It doesn't matter if it's modern or classic.
Yeah, I didn't see any like the decision making is always going to be the same no matter if you're in classic or modern.
Hmm.
And so if you're playing modern and you're playing classic, it still doesn't change the fact of like the things that you did good and the things you did bad.
Right.
It's
Right.
and so don't let that deter you at all. Um
Right.
it's still the same thing as don't give up space when you don't need to.
Right.
And even in modern, you can easily burn yourself out.
Hmm.
Maybe even easier because it's it's only a couple buttons to do an EX move.
Right. 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 Okay. Well, we're gonna stop it right here. Me and Fiendish can talk forever about Street Fighter. This will go on and on forever if we keep going. But
Exactly. Hey,
yeah,
yeah, thank you for the submissions. This was a lot of fun,
yeah, yeah. If
and I'm excited. And if anyone else wants their um their matches reviewed, I am always readily available. Um, and also, yeah, please feel free to contact me. I love to, help teach other people fighting games.
yep. And
And
you can
I know my yeah,
also send us either one of us like if you have clips or if you have like a replay code or something like that, and you want us to look at your stuff, we can do a YouTube show about your video. So I wouldn't mind doing that.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and we play other fighting games as well. I play Uni. We both play Grand Blue. There's several other fighting games as well. So we'll let you know if we could help you or not. If you send us some off the wall fighting game or something.
Well, between the two of us, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, we will. Or we'll
I'll give an
probably
answer.
we could probably get a special guest on here that knows more about that game than us. So yeah.
Exactly. So, hey, thank you for your time, everyone. And I hope you come out of this with some confidence and also that you learned something today.
Yep. Same, same, same. So until next time, I hope you guys practice and learn some things. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. You can follow both of us on social media. I'll go ahead and put Fiendish's information in this video. Whatever he wants to share, we'll put it in the video as well.
Perfect.
And then we'll just go from there. But see you guys next time.
All right. Take care, everyone. Peace.